RTD has finally opened the new G Line train that goes to Old Town Arvada after years of delays. For a while there, we thought that the G Line might not exist. And in fact, some local men are still doubting its existence. But now that the G Line is open, these same local men are worried that they won't be able to find the stop. We wish them luck. The Denver Vision Zero initiative, which commits to completely reducing all traffic-related fatalities by 2030, has been largely unsuccessful, as pedestrian deaths are up by 75% compared to a decade ago. Experts blame intoxicated drivers, cell phone usage, and SUVs as the reason deaths are escalating. On our last episode, we talked about King Soopers employees going on strike and predicted that in 10 years it will all be robot employees, which was a pretty safe bet. Look what I found at the Edgewater King Soopers, a scan it yourself center where you pick up a scanner and then scan things as you shop. Awesome. Now we get to do all the work and replace a human being's job. Where do I sign up? This is really a raw deal for everyone involved, except for the robots and King Soopers executives. Democrats currently have a majority control of the Colorado's House and Senate and are hurrying to pass as many bills as they can while they're in charge. Many of these bills are aimed at improving environmental and social issues, like changing gas and oil regulations and passing gun laws. It's almost like visiting a family member who's a hoarder. Anytime they leave the room, it's like, quick, while we're in control of the house, clean something! The Colorado legislature has passed a bill funding full-day kindergarten for the upcoming school year. Great, because schools are such a safe place to be. Why don't we just let them hang out in places that are safer than a school? Like at their homes, at the park, or a dark Denver alleyway at night. We don't have a joke for this next clip, but we had to share.
God warns the people against a census. He is acknowledging the fact that he is God, he is sovereign, and that a king over them, counting them, knowing them, controlling them, would disrupt that fundamental connection.
Every winter, Colorado sets off a few hundred bombs in the mountains in order to mitigate avalanches. This year, however, 22 of the charges failed to go off. That Colorado man who wrestled the mountain lion commented, "Don't worry, I'll take care of him." In education news, CU has selected former Minnesota Congressman and current president of the University of North Dakota, Mark Kennedy, as the new president of the university system. Kennedy has been criticized for his poor track record with the LGBTQ community. He has since come to defend himself by saying his views have evolved. And like most college kids, he hopes that being on the CU campus will help him experiment. Colorado Democrats were trying to pass a bill allowing up to 12 weeks of paid family leave for employees. This would simply amend the Family Medical Leave Act that we currently have in place that allows for 12 weeks of unpaid leave, which, first off, is one of the worst family leave policies in the world. It's a sad fact that out of the vast majority of first world countries, America on the whole is one of the only ones that doesn't offer at least 12 weeks of paid leave. I mean, Estonia gives 85 weeks of fully paid and 166 weeks of half-paid maternity leave. Estonia, a super poor Eastern European country. We have weed money. What are we doing? Right now, 1 out of 4 moms in Colorado are going back to work 2 weeks after giving birth. 2 weeks? So, implementing 12 weeks paid leave would just bring Colorado up to par with the modern world. This bill would require businesses to create a fund at workplaces that both the employees and the employers pay into. And this fund would then give a weekly salary for employees who are out taking care of newborns or sick parents. In either case, this bill basically helps pay for diapers. Annually, the bill would require a deposit into the state fund equaling 2/3 of 1% of each employee's yearly wages, with the employee and the employer each paying 1/3 of 1%. That is 0.003%. To put into perspective how reasonable this bill is, let's look at the average yearly salary of Coloradans, which is $70,000. Wait, it's really 70,000? Shit. Anyways, okay, 1/3 of a percent of $70,000 would be about $224 for 1 year. $224, or roughly one family night out to Chili's. Even with their 2 for $20 deal, you know you're not getting out of there with a bill under $200. Fam's gonna want appetizers. You know the kids are gonna want dessert. Have you had their lava cakes? And because you know you're gonna get a couple drinks, family dinner, obviously, and your husband won't stop talking about your decrepit, shitty father-in-law moving in. Well, I mean, he's sick, but maybe he could watch the kids. But he complains all the time and he has to pee 30 times a day. Then you guys are going to get into an argument about how you don't have enough money to support your shitty father-in-law. And then when the kids start crying, both of you guys are going to start drinking more. And then all of a sudden you crank the Chili's bill up to $300 because those fucking IPAs are gouging you. All this bill is really asking is, instead of spending one night at Chili's, you use that money to help out a coworker who has to take care of their shitty father-in-law. Since the red flag gun bill has been signed, backlash from gun advocates has broken out across the state. As a reminder, the Extreme Risk Protection Order, aka the red flag gun bill, this would allow for judges to permit authorities to seize someone's guns if family, household members, or police were concerned that that person was a threat to themselves or to others. Opponents of the bill say that it's unconstitutional because it doesn't give people whose guns have been seized enough due process. But honestly, this seems like a situation where that should be okay. It's weird that people want to spend a lot of time processing whether they should take a gun away from someone when it only takes a day to process whether to give a woman a gun after she gets off a plane, for example. The real aim of the bill is to give law enforcement more tools to help mitigate shootings and violence. In fact, in other states with bills like this, it's usually police seeking permission from a judge to confiscate firearms due to risks of violence, not from random people who have held a grudge against you since the 8th grade and want you to miss out on hunting season. In response to the legislation, many Colorado counties are now declaring themselves Second Amendment sanctuary cities. Since the news broke, guns across the state are flocking to such cities on their tiny little legs to escape persecution from liberal cucks. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses of AK-47s yearning to breathe free. These Second Amendment sanctuary cities are also striving to protect things like the right to call women toots in the workplace. Seriously though, when the red flag gun bill takes effect in 2020, there are counties who say they won't uphold the law. In fact, over half the counties in the state have come out in opposition to the Extreme Risk Protection Order. One sheriff from Weld County, Sheriff Steve Reams, is gaining notoriety by stating that he's willing to go to jail over protecting the Second Amendment.
In the worst case scenario, that's what could happen, and I believe that I'm willing to stand to that bitter end.
That bitter end? Oh my God, someone call the 8th grade drama department. We have your new lead.
So what happens if a sheriff ignores a court order to seize a person's weapons and then somebody gets hurt?
So I have considered that. That's a very valid question. I'll tell you, I've gone through hundreds of scenarios in my mind. And quite frankly, there's plenty of options for dealing with a situation without using the red flag law. If we did go in and take someone's firearms and that person still went out and committed an act of violence, wouldn't I be as liable then as if I took their firearms?
What a stupid argument. That you might as well not do a single thing about it is ridiculous. To even want to fight to keep someone's guns intact regardless of their situation, does not make sense to me. Oh, 911 emergency. Oh, sorry to hear that, Jared. Oh, okay. Do you have a gun? In your hand. Oh, okay. Well, don't use it on yourself or others. Okay. Yep, that's all I can do. Have a great day. Some people in this country think it's your right to have guns as a red-blooded American. Unfortunately, I know that we truly are all red-blooded Americans because all I see on the news anymore is red blood from Americans. This obsession with gun rights is teetering on being religious. After Second Amendment sanctuary cities, I'm wondering what's next. The Church of the Second Amendment? I can see it now. Jesus loves guns. Or, love thy neighbor, but protect thy flock. And instead of WWJD, it's WWJC. What would Jesus carry? I was thinking Jesus would carry an AK-47, but a nice Glock would be easier to shoot in sandals. Here's the thing. This bill won't affect law-abiding gun owners. If you don't have anything to worry about, i.e. you're not abusive, suicidal, or wanting to harm other people, you're fine. You can keep your guns. But opposition to the law would say that this is just the first step towards the government taking all guns from all citizens, even the good guys with the guns, because they've been so helpful. One thing people aren't accounting for is that taking everyone's guns would be a massive accomplishment, and the government is notoriously known for accomplishing nothing. And also, here's the thing. I don't want the government to take everyone's guns, because then Trump would have all the guns. What this boils down to is that while some people are worried about this far-off fantasy of having their guns taken away, most people are worried about getting shot. That's it for us here at the Denver Daily this week. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, watch all these videos, share with your friends, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you like, tell us what you want to hear more of, and we'll see you next time.